The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the holographic feed flickered to life. Orla Chen stood at her station aboard the UESS Retribution, her hands trembling as she watched the assassination unfold for the 100th time. Secretary General Alexander Morrison, Earth's first representative to achieve full council membership, crumpled to the floor as Zytharian plasma tore through his chest. The alien delegates didn't even flinch. "Replay complete," the AI announced. Orla closed her eyes, but the image remained burned into her retinas. "They knew," she whispered. "They all knew it was coming." Commander Ramirez placed a hand on her shoulder. "Intel confirms it. The hegemony planned this for months. They wanted to send a message. Humans don't belong among the stars." Orla turned from the screen, her grief hardening into something colder. As Morrison's chief science officer, she'd spent 3 years helping him navigate the treacherous politics of the Council. She'd watched him forge alliances with species that had traveled the galaxy for millennia while humanity was still learning to walk upright. And now those same species sat in complicit silence. "How long until we reach the Zytharian home system?" she asked. 72 hours, Ramirez replied. "But Orla, you need to understand, we're not authorized for military action. The joint human-alien fleet protocols are suspended," she interrupted. "Emergency Directive Alpha 7. When I coded the quantum navigation systems for this vessel, Alexander made me promise something. If they ever came for him, if they ever decided humanity was too dangerous to allow into their club, we'd show them exactly why they were right to be afraid." She pulled up a classified file on her neural interface. The commander's eyes widened as the specifications materialized in the air between them. "Project Stormbreaker," Orla said quietly. "Alexander didn't just send us out here to explore, he sent us to be ready." The Retribution wasn't like other human vessels. While the Council's member species had spent 10,000 years perfecting their warp drives and energy shields, they'd grown complacent. Their technology was ancient, refined, but stagnant. Humanity, barely 2 centuries into FTL travel, brought something the galaxy had forgotten: innovation born from necessity. Orla moved through the ship's engineering deck, her augmented reality display highlighting systems that shouldn't exist on a diplomatic vessel. Relativistic kinetic impactors, quantum-entangled targeting arrays, and at the ship's core, something that had made Alexander smile when she first proposed it: a weaponized Alcubierre drive. "You're actually going to do it," said Lieutenant Jackson, the weapons officer. "You're going to turn a warp bubble into a bomb." "Not a bomb," Orla corrected, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Bombs are crude. This is precision. When we drop out of warp at 0.01 AU from Zytheria Prime, we'll be carrying the accumulated momentum of near-light-speed travel. The field collapse will be catastrophic. You'll kill billions." Orla's hands paused. She thought of Alexander's last words to the Council, broadcast across the galaxy. "We come not as conquerors, but as equals. We ask only for the chance to prove our worth among the stars." They'd answered with plasma fire. "I'll kill their orbital defense platforms," she said finally. "Their military installations, their capacity to project power, but not civilians. We're not them." Jackson nodded slowly. Alexander would approve. "Alexander is dead because he believed in their better nature." Orla's voice cracked. "I won't make that mistake." The Zytharian hegemony had ruled their sector for 3,000 years. When the Retribution emerged from quantum space at the edge of their system, every alarm in their defense network screamed to life. Commodore Zyxthar watched the human vessel on his tactical display with something approaching amusement. One ship. The mammals had sent one ship to avenge their leader. "Hail them," he ordered. "I want to see their faces when they realize their mistake." Orla's image appeared on his screen. She was young, he noted, barely into her 3rd decade. Her species' brief lifespans made them reckless. "You've violated hegemony space," Zyxthar announced. "Surrender your vessel and prepare to be boarded." "Commodore," Orla replied, her voice steady despite the tears on her cheeks. Do you know what makes humanity dangerous? It's not our weapons, though they're formidable. It's not our numbers, though we breed faster than your kind can count. It's this, we remember. The display behind her lit up with names, thousands of them. Humans who died in the slow push to the stars. Scientists lost to cosmic radiation. Colonists frozen in cryopod failures. Explorers consumed by species who saw them as little more than talking animals. Every name here is someone we failed to save, Orla continued. Every death taught us something new, made us stronger, better. And now you've added Alexander Morrison to that list. You've given us our greatest lesson yet. And what lesson is that? Zyxthar asked, signaling his weapons platforms to charge. Orla smiled, and it was the saddest thing he'd ever seen. That mercy is a luxury we can no longer afford. What happened next will be studied in military academies for generations. The Retribution didn't fire conventional weapons. Instead, Orla executed a micro-jump, a warp transition of less than 1 light second, something the Council's theorists had declared impossible due to quantum instabilities. The human ship vanished and reappeared inside the hegemony's defensive perimeter, its warp field collapse releasing a directed tsunami of exotic particles. Zytharian orbital fortresses, each the size of a small moon, simply ceased to exist. Their shields, designed to deflect energy weapons and kinetic projectiles, were meaningless against the fundamental distortion of spacetime itself. Second jump, Orla commanded. Target their shipyards. Orla, Ramirez warned, the drive wasn't designed for rapid cycling. We risk. I know the risks, she snapped. Execute. Another micro-jump. Another fortress reduced to its component atoms. The human crew strained against the G-forces, their augmented bodies pushed to the limit, but they held. Across the Zytharian system, panic spread. This wasn't supposed to be possible. The humans were primitives, barely worthy of Council attention. They'd had FTL for less time than it took a Zytharian egg to hatch. But Orla had understood something the older races had forgotten. Technology wasn't about time. It was about necessity. While the hegemony had perfected their defenses against known threats, humanity had been inventing entirely new ones. Commodore, Zyxthar's tactical officer shouted. They're transmitting on all frequencies. Orla's voice echoed across the system, broadcast to every ship, every station, every inhabited world. This is Commander Orla Chen of the United Earth Stellar Service. Secretary-General Alexander Morrison came to your council in peace. He believed that humanity could find its place among the stars through diplomacy, through cooperation, through mutual respect. You murdered him for that belief. Another micro-jump, another military installation obliterated. Let me be clear, this is not revenge. Revenge would be easy. This is a message. You want to know if humanity deserved a seat at the galactic table. We don't want your permission anymore. From this moment forward, any attack on human civilians, any accidents in space, any convenient pirates near our colonies, we will respond. Not with lawyers or diplomats, but with this. The Retribution appeared directly above Zytheria Prime, close enough that its shadow fell across the capital city. We have the capacity to crack your planet like an egg, Orla continued. One more warp collapse at this altitude, and your atmosphere ignites. Your cities melt. Your civilization ends. But we won't do that, because unlike you, we remember what it means to be civilized. She leaned forward, her eyes blazing. Alexander Morrison died believing in the better angels of galactic nature. I don't have that faith, but I do believe in the power of fear. So here's my promise. Touch Earth. Touch any human world, and we won't come for your military. We'll come for everything that makes your civilization possible. We'll be the nightmare that haunts your long-lived dreams. We'll be the storm you can't weather. The Retribution jumped away, leaving the Zytharian system in chaos. Within hours, emergency sessions convened across the Galactic Council. The human ship had demonstrated capabilities that redefined warfare. Micro-jumping, weaponized warp fields, reaction times that suggested human neural augmentation far exceeded council regulations. In her quarters, Orla stared at a photograph of Alexander. He was laughing in it, having just shared a joke with a Diluvian ambassador who towered over him. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I know you wanted us to be better than this." Her comm chirped. "Commander, we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth. It's the entire Security Council and representatives from 63 council species." Orla straightened her uniform and walked to the bridge. The main display showed a sea of alien faces, their expressions ranging from fear to anger to something that might have been respect. The Diluvian ambassador spoke first. "Commander Chen, the Council wishes to renegotiate humanity's status, perhaps a more prominent position." "No," Orla interrupted. "We're done asking for positions. From now on, humanity charts its own course." "But," she paused, choosing her words carefully, "we're not monsters. We'll honor our treaties. We'll protect Council space from external threats, but never again will we allow our people to be murdered while you watch." An ancient Celestian elder, its crystalline form pulsing with soft light, chimed in. "You've changed the balance of power, Commander. Many species will see humanity as a threat." "Good," Orla replied. "Alexander tried to make them see us as friends. It got him killed. Let them fear us instead. Fear breeds respect. Respect breeds caution, and caution keeps people alive." She terminated the connection and turned to her crew. They looked exhausted, traumatized by what they'd done, but also resolved. "Set course for Earth," she ordered. "We're bringing Alexander home." As the retribution aligned for the jump to Sol, Orla allowed herself one last look at the stars. They were beautiful, she thought, infinite and cold, and utterly indifferent to the dramas playing out beneath their light. But they'd remember this day, the day humanity stopped asking for permission and started taking what it deserved. The day the storm began. And somewhere in the quantum foam of spacetime, in the echoes of warp fields and the ghost signatures of impossible jumps, the galaxy learned a new truth. Never underestimate a species that has nothing left to lose. The stars wouldn't forget, neither would humanity.